My name is Robert Bentley. I am a person who came to New York City in 1968 to study art. You know, during the pandemic, the lockdown, I spent a lot of time in my cabin in the Adirondacks, surrounded by thousands of acres of forever wilderness, spending a lot of time with trees. And when I came back to my studio in September, these paintings about trees just started pouring out of me. I spent a lot of time sitting, walking, meditating. The Japanese have a wonderful phrase called forest bathing, which I think is a very real thing in terms of how it affects one's mind and spirit. Here, in my 70s, I come to my studio and 8 hours seems like an hour. I come in and my conscious mind will be sort of analyzing what's going on with the pictures, about everything that I know about color relationships and rhythms and forms. I'll start painting and I'm thinking, but then at a certain point, something intuitive sort of takes over. And it's almost like physical, where I'm like watching my arm paint. I lay out a bunch of colors. It's sort of strategic in terms of the palette that I'm working with. But suddenly, some other kind of like something kicks in, where I'm just watching the brush pick up paint on the palette and then go onto the canvas, and these marks are sort of happening. It's like my hand is dancing, really, without the intervention of my conscious mind. It's very strange. My work took a dramatic turn in September. Over the years, I was kind of very much interested in some very abstract vocabularies of paintings. Yeah, since September, I've been spending really the most productive and most disciplined days of my entire life.
What are your hopes for this collection of work that you're doing?
It's really interesting because very often, I'm sort of compelled to do this, and I think about like all artists as to why we do this. I think that there are some people who have great business skills about how they approach things. I think there are a lot of people who have very sincere messages and things that they want to sort of convey in their art. It's fascinating to me that we as a species have been making art before architecture. I think we were making important information on cave walls. The effect that's happening in the woods, that there's like something healing and beneficial, when we walk in the woods. And somehow or another, if some of that sort of came out and was like documented on a canvas, that could be like, in a gallery in the middle of the city, that magical thing that happens in the woods. And I feel like that's happened kind of in some of these pieces, that if I could sort of document that and translate that. Everybody else is an unfinished masterpiece,